Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a deep dive into something really fascinating. Um, we're going to be looking at 10 habits for massive personal growth.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah,
Massive personal
yeah,
growth.
and they're kind of like curated from or inspired by the wisdom of Jim Rohn,
Okay, yeah.
who was
I love Jim Rohn.
motivational speaker and author.
Yes, he's great.
And we're going to be looking at a YouTube video that kind of summarizes his ideas and pulling out the 10 habits that they pulled out
Yeah.
and sort of looking at them and how they all fit together.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm really excited about this one. So jumping right in,
Oh, yeah.
the first one that they talk about is reading.
Of course.
And you could say, well, duh.
Right.
Well, everyone knows that reading is important, but it's the way that Jim Rohn talks about it
Yeah.
and kind of the specific way he encourages people to approach reading. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that always struck me about Jim Rohn's approach to personal development is that it's not about these huge transformations.
Right.
It's about consistency and like small actions that you take every day.
Yeah.
And that's how he talks about reading too. It's like you don't need to, read for 5 hours a day or anything crazy like that. It's just about making it a consistent habit in your life.
Yeah, and reading with purpose.
Yes.
Not just reading for entertainment, although there's a place for that.
Of course.
But really kind of like being intentional about, okay, what am I reading and
Yeah.
why am I reading this?
Yeah, he compares it to feeding your mind.
Right.
Nutritious food.
Yes.
Like you would your body.
And they give the example of, if you're reading a biography
Yes.
of someone who's achieved great things, you're literally absorbing, decades of their experience.
Exactly.
A few hours.
And lessons.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really an amazing way to learn and to grow.
Exactly.
So, I mean, just thinking about that for a second, like, what kind of books are you drawn to?
Yeah.
And how might that connect to your goals?
I tend to gravitate towards biographies and memoirs.
Oh, interesting.
I find it fascinating to learn about people's lives and journeys and how they overcame challenges and achieved their goals.
Yeah.
I think there's so much we can learn from other people's experiences.
Absolutely.
Even if their field is completely different from our own,
Right.
there are always universal lessons that we can apply to our own lives.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be just biographies. It can be anything
Of
that
course. Yeah.
helps you to grow as a person.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got that first habit of reading.
Yes.
Now, the second one that they talk about in the video is daily journaling.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
they say that Jim Rohn kind of compared it to cleaning a messy room. It's a way to declutter your mind.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried journaling?
I have, on and off.
Yeah.
I find it really helpful when I do it consistently.
Me too.
But it's definitely a habit that I fall out of sometimes.
Yeah. It's easy to
It's so easy.
let it slip.
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially with all the distractions we have these days.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like you have to make a conscious effort to create that space for journaling.
When sometimes I think it can feel a little overwhelming
Right.
because it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to write about?
Yeah.
But I think what I heard and what's works for me is just getting the thoughts out of your head
Yes.
onto the page
Absolutely.
and not worrying about it.
Not censoring yourself,
Yeah.
not editing, just letting it flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more about processing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like having a conversation with yourself on paper.
Yes.
Getting all those jumbled thoughts out of your head and onto something tangible.
Right. And then you can look back on it and say, oh, okay,
Exactly.
I see there's a pattern here. Well,
Yeah.
I was feeling this way about this thing, and now I can see it
Right.
in front of me.
And sometimes you'll even surprise yourself.
Yeah.
You'll write something down and you'll think,
Right.
where did that come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even realize I was feeling that way.
Yeah. That's fascinating.
It's a powerful tool for self-discovery.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got reading, we've got journaling.
Yes.
What's next?
Okay, so the third habit that Jim Rohn emphasizes is setting daily goals.
Oh, goals.
Yes, goals.
Okay.
He was famous for saying, and I'm probably going to butcher this quote, but it's something like, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much.
Wow.
It's a powerful quote, right?
It is a powerful quote.
And it really highlights the importance of taking control of our own lives and deciding what we want to achieve.
Yeah. And not just kind of floating along
Exactly.
and letting life happen to us.
It's about being proactive
Yes.
and taking charge of our own destiny.
And so in terms of goal setting, are we talking like New Year's resolutions or
Not necessarily. It's more about setting daily goals.
Okay.
Small, achievable goals that help us move closer to our larger aspirations.
Okay.
Like one step at a time.
Yeah.
He recommended asking yourself a powerful question each morning.
Okay.
What one thing, if I achieved it today, would make the biggest difference in my life?
Oh, I love that.
Right.
Because that really forces you to prioritize.
It does.
Yeah.
And to focus your energy on what truly matters.
Okay, I'm writing that one down because I love that.
It's a great question.
What one thing, if I achieved it today,
Yes.
would make the biggest difference in my life?
Exactly.
Okay, I love it.
It's a game changer.
Yeah. And so are we writing these goals down? Or are we...
I think it's helpful to write them down.
Okay.
Yeah, because it makes them more tangible.
Right.
It's like you're making a commitment to yourself.
Yes, and then you can look back on them and see, oh,
Eh.
I actually did that.
Yeah, you can track your progress.
Right.
And you can also see what's working, what's not.
Right.
Adjust your approach accordingly.
Okay. So we've got our goals.
Yes.
But I know for me, sometimes the motivation
Oh, yeah.
wanes.
It happens to all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did Jim Rohn have to say about like staying energized and
Right.
on track?
Well, he understood that our physical and mental well-being are interconnected.
Okay.
And that leads us to habit number 4.
Okay.
Prioritize exercise.
Okay. Well, I'm all for exercise,
Of course.
but I've heard it all before. You know, endorphins, blah blah blah.
Wait.
So what's Jim Rohn's unique take on it?
Well, he saw exercise as a discipline, a
Okay.
way to build resilience and mental toughness.
Okay.
He said when you discipline yourself to take care of your body, you'll be surprised at the other areas of your life that start falling into place.
Interesting.
It's about pushing your boundaries, overcoming challenges, and proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought.
So it's not just about physical fitness.
Right.
It's about like strengthening your mind as well.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a perspective I hadn't really considered before.
It's a powerful one.
Yeah. Okay, so reading, journaling, goal-setting exercise.
Yes.
What's next on this list of life-changing habits?
Okay, so the next one might seem a little bit fluffy, but it's incredibly powerful.
Okay.
It's cultivating gratitude.
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 Okay. I've heard a lot about gratitude journals.
Yeah.
Is it really all it's crapped up to be?
I think it is.
Okay.
I think it's more than just thinking happy thoughts.
Okay.
It's about training your mind to see the good even amidst challenges.
Okay.
Jim Rohn believed that what you focus on expands.
Oh, I've heard that.
Right.
Then.
So if you're constantly focusing on what's wrong with your life or what you're lacking, you're going to attract more of that.
Right.
But if you focus on what you have, what you're grateful for,
Yeah.
you're going to open yourself up to receiving even more abundance.
Okay, so it's a shift in perspective.
It is. It's a shift in mindset.
Okay, so how would someone actually go about practicing gratitude?
Well, a simple exercise is to write down 3 things you're grateful for every day.
Right.
They can be big things like your health or small things like a delicious cup of coffee.
Right.
The key is to really feel the gratitude, not just go through the motions.
Okay, so it's like a conscious practice.
It is.
Yeah.
It's about making gratitude a part of your daily routine.
Okay, and how do you think that ties into like the bigger picture of personal growth?
Well, I think when we're feeling grateful,
Yeah.
we're more likely to be positive and optimistic, and that can have a ripple effect in all areas of our lives.
Right.
We're more likely to take risks,
Yeah.
to pursue our goals,
Yeah.
to be kind to others.
Yeah.
It's like gratitude is the foundation for a happy and fulfilling life.
Okay, I'm sold.
Good.
I'm feeling pretty inspired already.
I love.
And we're only halfway through the list.
I know, right?
Okay, what's next?
Okay, so this next one might seem a little bit counterintuitive, especially in our go-go-guy society.
Yeah.
But Jim Rohn was adamant about its importance. It's all about the power of rest.
Rest.
Yeah.
Rest.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Isn't that like the opposite of everything we've been talking about?
Yeah.
Goals, action, discipline. It all sounds pretty intense.
It does, and that's why rest is so crucial.
Okay.
We can't operate at peak performance all the time.
Right.
We need to recharge our batteries.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so are we talking about like sleep,
Sleep is definitely important.
vacations,
Vacations are great too.
taking a day off?
Taking a day off could be very beneficial.
What did Jim Rohn consider rest?
He believed it was about finding pockets of stillness throughout the day.
Okay.
It might be meditation, spending time in nature,
Yeah.
or even just taking a few deep breaths before a big meeting.
The key is to disconnect from the constant stimulation
Uh-huh.
and give your mind a chance to wander.
Yeah, I've definitely found that, like, my best ideas come to me when I'm
Yes.
not actively trying to force them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when we give our minds a break,
Yeah.
they can actually do their best work.
So how do we actually incorporate rest into our busy lives?
Well, start small.
Okay.
Schedule 15 minutes of quiet time in your calendar.
Okay.
Turn off your phone for an hour each evening.
Yeah.
Take a walk in the park during your lunch break.
Okay.
It's about making small adjustments that add up to big benefits over time.
Right. So it's about being intentional with our downtime,
Exactly.
not just letting it happen by chance.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. We've covered reading it, journaling, goal setting, exercise, gratitude, and rest.
I know, right?
That's quite a foundation for personal growth.
It is.
But I have a feeling Jim Rohn has even more wisdom in store for us.
Oh, he does.
So what's next on this list of life-changing habits?
Okay, so the next one is all about expanding our impact beyond ourselves. It's about cultivating the habit of giving.
Giving. Oh, giving.
Giving.
I can see how that's important.
Yeah.
But how does it fit into the bigger picture of personal growth?
Well, Jim Rohn believed that giving wasn't just about charity or donating money.
Okay?
It was about a mindset of generosity.
Okay.
It's about sharing our time, talents, and resources with others.
So it can be more than just like material things.
Exactly.
Okay.
He said the more you give, the more you get.
I've heard that saying before,
Yeah.
but I've always wondered, how does giving actually lead to receiving?
It's not about a quid pro quo, like if I give this, I'll get that in return.
Right.
It's about the energy we put out into the world.
Okay.
When we focus on giving,
Mm-hmm.
we attract abundance, opportunity, and positive relationships into our lives.
So instead of thinking about what can I get,
Yes.
I should be thinking about what can I give?
Exactly. It's
Okay.
a shift in focus.
Yeah. And so are we talking about like, grand gestures or?
It doesn't have to be grand gestures.
Okay.
It can be as simple as offering a compliment,
Okay.
helping a colleague with a project,
Yeah.
or volunteering in your community.
Right.
The key is to find ways to make a positive impact on the lives of others.
Okay. So just those little everyday opportunities
Yes.
to make a difference.
Yes,
I
Kay.
like that.
It's about being mindful of the ways we can contribute.
Yeah. Okay. But what's next?
Okay, so this next habit is crucial for building strong relationships and becoming a more effective communicator.
Right.
It's all about becoming a true listener.
Now, listening seems pretty basic.
It does.
Right.
We does.
We all do it.
Right. But most people aren't truly listening.
Really?
They're just waiting for their turn to talk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
True listening, he said, is a rare and valuable skill.
Okay. So it's more than just hearing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's about being fully present, paying attention not just to the words, but also to the speaker's body language and tone of voice.
Right. So you're really taking it all in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're trying to understand the speaker's perspective and
Right.
to connect with them on a deeper level.
Okay. And why is that so important?
Well, when you truly listen to someone,
Yeah.
it creates a sense of connection and understanding that goes far beyond superficial conversation.
Right.
It builds trust,
Uh-huh.
deepens relationships, and
Yeah.
opens doors to new opportunities.
So it's almost like a superpower in disguise.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Okay. I'm definitely guilty of sometimes
Oh, me too.
formulating my response while someone's still talking.
Yeah, it's easy to do,
Yeah.
especially when you're excited about a topic or
Yeah.
you have something you really want to share.
Right.
But it's important to catch ourselves and
Yeah.
to bring our attention back to the speaker.
Okay. This is giving me a lot to think about.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. What's next on Jim Rohn's list?
Okay, so this next one can be a bit challenging,
Yeah.
especially in our instant gratification world,
Yeah.
but it's essential for achieving long-term success.
Okay.
It's all about the practice of patience.
Patience. That's a tough one.
It is.
We live in a world of instant downloads, next day delivery,
Right.
and constant stimulation.
Exactly.
Yeah. How did Jim Rohn suggest we cultivate patience
Yeah.
in such a fast-paced environment?
He understood the struggle.
Yeah.
He famously said, we want instant gratification and we want permanent results.
Oh, that's so true.
Right.
Yeah.
But he also knew that anything worthwhile takes time and effort.
Yeah.
He compared the process of achieving our goals to planting a seed.
Okay.
You have to nurture it, care for it,
Yeah.
and have faith that it will eventually grow.
So it's about trusting the process
It is.
and not giving up too soon,
Exactly.
even when you don't see those immediate results.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that there will be setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt along the way. But those are all part of the journey.
Yeah.
He believed that patience is a muscle we can strengthen with practice.
Okay. So how do we practice patience?
Well, it's more about shifting our mindset.
Okay.
Instead of focusing on the end goal, Try finding joy in the journey.
Okay.
Celebrate small wins along the way.
Yeah.
Remind yourself that you're making progress even if it's not always visible.
So embracing the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
It's about the process.
All right, we've covered reading, journaling, goal setting, exercise, gratitude, rest times, giving, listening, and patience.
We have.
That's 8.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah. What's the final habit on Jim Rohn's list?
This last one might be the most important because it impacts all the others.
Okay.
It's about choosing your circle wisely.
Choosing your circle. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yes, tell me more.
Tell me more.
Well, he believed that the people we surround ourselves with have a profound influence on our thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
Okay.
He famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Wow, that's a powerful statement.
It is, right?
Yeah. So if we're hanging out with negative, unambitious people,
Yeah.
we're likely to adopt those same traits.
It's not about judging or abandoning people,
Right.
but about being mindful of the energy we allow into our lives.
Okay.
We should actively seek out relationships that support our growth and inspire us to become the best versions of ourselves.
Okay, so how do we actually go about choosing our circle?
Well, it starts with being honest with ourselves about our current relationships.
Okay.
Ask yourself, who are the people who lift me up, challenge me, and make me want to be better?
Okay.
And equally important, who are the people who drain my energy, bring me down, or hold me back?
Wow, that's a tough question to ask.
It is.
But I can see how it's essential for personal growth.
Yeah.
So once we've identified those positive and negative influences,
Right.
what's next?
It's about making conscious choices about where we spend our time and energy.
Okay.
It might mean attending events where we can meet like-minded people,
Right.
joining a mastermind group. Yeah.
Or simply making an effort to connect with positive, inspiring individuals.
So it's not just about cutting out the negative people.
Right.
It's about actively seeking out
Yes.
the positive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And remember, it's a two-way street.
Oh, right.
We should also strive to be a positive influence on others,
Right.
offering support, encouragement, and celebrating their successes.
Yeah. Okay, so choosing our circle wisely is kind of like the foundation for building a life
It is.
that aligns with our values and goals.
Absolutely.
Wow, this is a lot to take in.
It is.
We've covered 8 of Jim Rohn's 10 habits,
I know.
and I'm already feeling inspired to make some changes in my life.
That's great.
Yeah, so join us for part 2
Yes.
as we explore the final 2 habits and see how they tie everything together.
It's going to be good.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
me too. Welcome back. We're diving deeper into Jim Rohn's 10 life-changing habits.
Yeah, it's amazing how much wisdom he packed into those 10 habits. I know we've already explored 8 incredible practices, from reading with purpose to prioritizing rest and cultivating gratitude.
Right, and as we move into the final 2 habits, I think you'll see how they bring everything together.
Okay, I'm all ears, especially after that last one about choosing our circle wisely. It's really got me thinking about the people I surround myself with and how they impact my energy and motivation.
Yeah, that's such a crucial insight, and it sets the stage perfectly for habit number 9, which is all about embracing the journey. It's about understanding that success doesn't happen overnight.
You're talking about patience, right? Ron emphasized that one a lot, using the analogy of a seed taking time to sprout and grow. But in a world that's obsessed with instant gratification, cultivating patience can feel like swimming upstream.
It can, but it's a muscle we need to strengthen if we want to achieve anything worthwhile. Think about any significant accomplishment in history, whether it's a scientific breakthrough, a social movement, or a masterpiece of art. None of it happened overnight.
That's so true. It took years, sometimes decades of dedicated effort, setbacks, and unwavering belief.
Right, and that's where patience comes in. It's about trusting the process and not giving up too soon, even when we don't see immediate results.
But how do we develop this superpower of patience? Is it just about gritting our teeth and waiting it out?
It's more about shifting our mindset from a focus on instant results to an appreciation for the process. Finding joy in the journey, celebrating those small wins along the way, and trusting that with consistent effort, the bigger rewards will come.
I love that it's about embracing the journey, not just fixating on the destination. It's about enjoying the ride, knowing that there will be twists and turns, but that each step brings us closer to our goals.
Exactly. And that brings us to the final habit Ron highlighted, number 10, which is all about choosing the right path, or rather the right people, to accompany us on that path.
You've hit the nail on the head. This habit brings us full circle, connecting back to that idea of surrounding ourselves with individuals who support our growth and aspirations.
Right. It's like we're building an incredible support system, a network of mentors, friends, colleagues, and even family members who inspire us, challenge us, and help us become the best versions of ourselves.
It's almost like creating our own personal board of advisors, people we can turn to for guidance, encouragement, and accountability.
Precisely. Ron's insight here is so valuable because it reminds us that we're not meant to go it alone. We need a tribe, a community of like-minded individuals who share our values, our drive, and our commitment to personal growth.
And it's not just about taking, it's about giving back, being a source of support and encouragement for others as well.
Absolutely. It's about creating a virtuous cycle, a network where everyone lifts each other up, celebrates each other's successes, and provides a safety net during those inevitable times of challenge.
So to recap, we've explored all 10 of Jim Rohn's habits, from reading with purpose to choosing our circle wisely. It's an impressive toolkit for personal growth.
It is, and what's striking is that none of these habits are particularly complicated or require any special skills. They're simple practices that anyone can incorporate into their daily routine.
But as Ron reminds us, it's the consistency, the daily commitment to these small actions that creates the compound effect, leading to massive transformations over time.
It's like building a house brick by brick. Each habit is a brick, and with each day of consistent effort, we're laying a stronger foundation for the life we want to create.
And if we're ever feeling overwhelmed by the idea of implementing all 10 habits at once, Ron offered some simple advice. Start small.
Right. Pick one habit that resonates with you, focus on mastering it, and then gradually incorporate the others as you feel ready.
I love that approach. It's about progress, not perfection. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Jim Rohn's wisdom, I'm curious to hear from you.
Yeah, what habit speaks to you the most? Which one are you inspired to implement in your own life starting today?
Take a moment to reflect on that and perhaps even jot down your thoughts in a journal. Because as we've learned from Ron, small habits consistently applied have the power to create extraordinary results.
And remember, this deep dive was just a glimpse into the wealth of knowledge Jim Rohn shared throughout his life if his insights resonated with you. I highly encourage you to explore his books, audio programs, and videos.
You'll find a treasure trove of wisdom and practical advice that can guide you on your journey of personal growth and fulfillment. Welcome back to the show for our final part of this deep dive into the wisdom of Jim Rohn.
Yeah, it's amazing how much ground we've covered.
I know, it's incredible, right? Like just thinking about all these habits and how they can impact our lives.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It really is. It makes you want to go out and start implementing these things right away.
Yeah, no, me too.
But I think it's important as we wrap up to remember that it's not about trying to do everything at once.
Absolutely. Ron himself emphasized the power of starting small.
Right? He said success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day.
Wow, that's such a powerful quote.
It is. It really highlights the importance of consistency, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not about those grand gestures or, sporadic bursts of motivation.
Right.
It's about those small daily actions that compound over time.
Exactly. It's like those tiny little choices that we make each day
Right.
that ultimately shape our lives.
Absolutely. And that's what's so beautiful about these habits. They're accessible to everyone,
Yeah.
regardless of our circumstances or background.
It's not about having some special talent or skill.
Exactly. It's simply about making the choice day after day to engage in these practices.
And trust that those choices will compound
Yeah.
and create that ripple effect of positive change that extends far beyond ourselves.
One of the most valuable takeaways for me from this deep dive has been the interconnectedness of these habits.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Well, they're not just isolated actions.
Right.
They're pieces of a larger puzzle.
It's like we've woven together a tapestry of personal growth.
I love that analogy.
Yeah, with each habit representing a different thread,
Right.
contributing to the overall strength and beauty of the design.
And as we continue to cultivate these habits,
Yeah.
we'll find that they reinforce and support each other.
It's like they create this upward spiral of positive
A
momentum.
virtuous cycle of growth and transformation.
So as we leave you with this final thought, dear listener, we encourage you to take the wisdom of Jim Rohn to heart.
Yeah.
Start small,
Yeah.
be consistent, and watch as your life unfolds in ways you never imagined possible.
And remember, this deep dive was just a taste of the profound insights that Jim Rohn had to offer.
Yeah, if his wisdom resonated with you,
Yeah.
I highly encourage you to explore his work further.
There's so much to discover
There really
in
is.
his books and audio programs and videos.
You'll discover a treasure trove of practical advice and timeless wisdom that can guide you on your journey of personal growth and fulfillment.
Absolutely. And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to become the best version of yourself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time.